What is Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. We'll move on to last theorem of this module, that is maximum power transfer theorem. In maximum power transfer theorem, first we'll see on the statement of it. So in any linear bilateral network, the maximum power is transferred from source to load. That is important. From where to where the maximum power will be transferred? It is transferred from source to load. Okay. When the maximum power will be transferred? When three conditions will be met. Okay. So at three different conditions, we'll see how the maximum power is transferred. The first is the load resistance is equal to the source resistance. First one is the load resistance is equal to the source resistance. Second, the load resistance is equal to the magnitude of the source impedance. Second condition is the load resistance is equal to the magnitude of the source impedance. So what do you mean by this magnitude of source impedance? Means since we'll get J terms when we go with impedance, it is not purely resistance. We'll have J terms. That means we'll have inductance and capacitance. So we have to take the magnitude of it. Root of that magnitude. That formula I will show you. And the third is load impedance is complex conjugate of source impedance. Complex conjugate of source impedance. In this, when these three conditions are met, that means the maximum power is transferred from source to load. So we'll be deriving the maximum power transfer formula by taking three cases. Fine. So we'll start with the first case, when the load and source resistance are purely resistive. Okay. Here see, we have this is source resistance and this is load resistance RL. When both are purely resistive means we have only resistance term there. We don't have any J term. So that is the first condition. So this is the network that is given. IL is equal to, what is the load current here? IL is equal to voltage divided by sum of resistances. So IL is equal to E naught divided by R naught plus RL. That is the load current. Next, what is the formula for power transfer? The power transferred from source to the load is given by the formula. Power is equal to IL square into RL. Power is equal to IL square into RL. So substitute the value for IL. How much is IL? IL is E naught divided by R naught plus RL. Just substitute here, you will get power is equal to E naught square divided by R naught plus RL whole square into RL. So keep this formula. Next, what we'll do, the power transferred is maximum when we differentiate the given power with respect to RL. This is differentiation. Differentiating power with respect to RL and equating it to 0, we'll get the maximum power transferred. So just differentiating it, it is in the term U by V. Okay, U by V. So U into differentiation, sorry, V into differentiation of U, that is a constant, minus U into differentiation of V divided by V square. That formula is there, that is been applied here. So we'll get R naught plus RL square into E naught square is constant minus E naught square into differentiation of this is nothing but 2 into R naught plus RL into RL divided by R naught plus RL whole square. 2 times square, it becomes to the power 4. Just equating it to 0, say take E naught square common here. Okay, from the numerator take E naught square common and keep only the left out term. And E naught square cannot be equated to 0 since it is a voltage term. So the remaining terms, that is R naught plus RL into whole square minus 2 RL into R naught plus RL is equated to 0. Just split the terms. This is nothing but A plus B whole square. It is A square plus B square plus 2AB minus multiply this. Okay. This positive and negative term will get cancelled. So the equation left out is R naught square minus RL square is equal to 0. Next it is R naught is equal to RL. Next IL is equal to E naught divided by 2RL. What that was the formula we got now. IL is equal to E naught divided by RL plus R naught was the formula. Because R naught is equal to RL, so it becomes 2RL. So maximum power transfer PM is equal to E naught square divided by we are just substituting there. It is 4RL square into RL. So RL will get cancelled. PM is equal to E naught square divided by 4RL. See, this is the formula for maximum power transfer when the load and the source are purely resistive. So what we got here? We want here load resistance RL and we want here E naught. What is this E naught? E naught is nothing but Thevenin's equivalent voltage. So this is what I told. It is just an extension of Thevenin's theorem. So you have to do Thevenin's theorem. You have to find out at the load terminal should be open circuited. You have to find the voltage there by using mesh or node analysis, and that voltage square divided by 4RL will give you the maximum power transfer. Once again I'll tell, this R naught is equal to RL. It is substituted here in this equation. Okay, R naught is equal to RL is substituted here, so we'll get RL square. One RL will get cancelled. So we'll get here 4RL. That is first case. Now what is the second case? The load is purely resistive. Getting it? The load is purely resistive. That means it is only RL here. The load is purely resistive. And the source has impedance. When it has impedance, it will have some J term. So the source will be R0 plus JX0. It is having impedance. Okay, it is R0 plus JX0. We don't know what it is. It is capacitance, inductance. Just we have written it as R0 plus JX0. So what will be the load current? Load current IL is equal to E0 divided by Z0. Okay. This completely term is written in terms of Z0. It is just written as Z0 plus RL. So Z0 is one which is having impedance and RL is purely resistive. This is the second case. So just we have written the load current, just split it and write now IL is equal to E0 divided by R0 plus RL plus JX0. Getting it? Next, they will take only the magnitude of it. This is how they take the magnitude. Okay. It is nothing but R0 plus RL whole square plus X0 square. That is the root of R0 plus RL whole square plus X0 square is the magnitude. That is IL current. Next, what is the formula? Power is equal to IL square into RL. Just substitute the IL here. So you'll get E0 square divided by root of R0 plus RL whole square plus X0 square into RL. Just again the condition is same. The power transfer is maximum when dP by dP by dRL is equal to 0. That is differentiating the power with respect to RL and equating it to 0. The same method, the same step as case 1. Just differentiate it and equate the remaining terms to 0. So what we'll get? RL square is equal to R0 square plus X0 square. So RL is equal to root of R0 square plus X0 square. And what they will take? They will take the magnitude of this. Okay, R0 plus X0 is nothing but Z0. Just we have to take the magnitude of it. So RL is equal to magnitude of Z0. And the maximum power transfer PM is equal to IL square into RL. So IL represents the load current. So this is the case 2. We had written at the beginning, okay, where the maximum power will be transferred when we'll take the magnitude of the complex term. I'll show you once that you'll follow. When we wrote the statement, what we wrote? The load resistance is equal to the magnitude of the source impedance. That is the case 2. Getting it? That is proved in the case 2. Next, we'll move on to the case 3. So all the 3 cases, any one case they may ask, or you have to practice all the 3 cases. So first one was purely resistive, where load and source are purely resistive. The second one is load is purely resistive but source is having impedance. The third case is when both the load and source have impedance. Getting it? When both are having impedance. So what it will become? It will become Z0 and ZL. That is R0 plus JX0 is for source and RL plus JXL is for load. Okay. So what will be the load current? IL is equal to E0 divided by R0 plus RL. Okay. Real terms are written one side. plus j into x naught plus xl, the complex terms. Okay, imaginary terms are written one side and real terms are written, they are separated. That is our IL current. Next, what you have to do here, you did not go with the steps here. The derivation is simple for the third case. The magnitude of the current is given by, just take the magnitude of the current, that is IL is equal to E naught divided by root of R naught plus RL whole square plus XL plus X naught whole square. So what is the condition? For the above circuit, the maximum power is transferred when two conditions are satisfied. Okay. What is the two condition? That is XL is equal to minus X naught. That is impedance of the load is equal to negative of the impedance of the source. That is the first condition. Second is, this is what we did for the two cases. That is differentiation of the power with respect to RL is equated to 0. That is dP by dRL is equal to 0. And this we had done, and we found that RL is equal to R naught. That was case 1. The second is been done. So for the first one, that is XL is equal to minus X naught, what they will do? From condition 1 and 2, maximum power is transferred when RL plus JXL. I have just split it. This XL is written like this. RL plus JXL is equal to R naught minus JX naught. Fine. So this is conjugate, that is ZL is equal to Z naught star. That is how they represent the conjugate. ZL is equal to Z naught star is the conjugate. That is the third case. So maximum power transfer PM is equal to IL square into RL. So we have derived in the first case only, that is PM is equal to E naught square divided by 4RL. So where IL represents the load current and E naught represents the Thevenin's open circuit voltage. Getting it? So this is the derivation of maximum power transfer in the three cases. The first case is when the load and the source are purely resistive. The second is the load is purely resistive and source has some impedance. And the third case is when the load and source both have impedance. So the formula which we use is PM is equal to E naught square divided by 4RL is the formula for maximum power transfer from source to load in three different cases. So examples will be based on three different cases only. First, whenever they give the problem, you have to check which case it is, whether the load is resistive or the source is resistive or both are resistive, or is it a case 3. You have to check accordingly, you have to apply the formula. And for second case, ZL is equal to, it is just RL is equal to magnitude of Z naught. And for third case, that is the load resistance, ZL is equal to, it is the conjugate of Z naught. Okay, how to take this conjugate and how to take the magnitude, we'll see when we go for the examples. Have examples we will do in the tomorrow's class. Just we have seen the derivation today, and we'll go with the one of the problem of superposition theorem. I had just given as an assignment. I think nobody has solved it. Just see here in the circuit, find Ix. Okay, in the circuit, find Ix using superposition theorem. So this is Ix. Okay, this is the Ix they have given. So you have to find the current in this branch. Fine, or current in this loop you can find by using superposition theorem. So first listen carefully what this superposition theorem states. If a network contains more than one source, you have to take only one source at a time, and other sources should be removed. So if other sources are, if it is a voltage source, you have to short it, and if it is a current source, you have to open it. So in our network, both we have two sources, both are voltage sources. So we'll take one source at a time, that is we'll take 50 at an angle 0. Okay, at this all are in J terms. AC source there. So other voltage source is 50 at an angle 90, that should be shorted. Fine. So when we short, you can go with two methods. That means after shorting this, we'll have three loops here. You can take the current as I1, I2 and I3. Fine. And apply the mesh equation and when you find out I2 is nothing but Ix. That will be the current. That is one method. Since the source is removed here, since it is a J term, okay, we can't put the equations directly in the calculator. You have to solve it manually. So what we'll do, we'll take these two resistance, that is 2 ohm and minus J2 are in parallel. Getting it? 2 ohm and minus J2 are in parallel. These two resistance are in parallel. Whatever the answer we get, that is in series with 4 ohm. Again, that is in parallel with J2. Again, that is in series with 5 ohm. So we'll get a equivalent resistance. So when we get an equivalent resistance and this voltage will give us the current. So I is equal to V by R, that is voltage divided by resistance. Fine, we'll get the main current. Okay, when we get the main current, you can go with the branch current. So this will be the branch current. Okay, Ix will be the branch current. So main current into resistance of the opposite branch, that is J2, divided by sum of resistances. So this is one method that can be done. You can go with mesh analysis also. Here I have gone with the taking 2 ohm and minus J2 parallel. I'll show you how that is done here. So first, considering 50 at an angle 0, only one source is considered. The other source is shorted here. Okay, I think you can observe this. So what they will do, minus J2 and 2 are in parallel. Fine, parallel, you will get one answer when they are in parallel. Then next what it is, whether both are in parallel, and that is in series with 4 ohm here. Getting it? That is in whatever the answer you get, that is in parallel with J2. Fine. After that you will get one answer, that is nothing but Z equivalent. That is the equivalent resistance of this complete network. So what will be the current? I is equal to V by R. Just substitute it. You will get the main current. I is the main current. How to find out the branch current now? Branch current is equal to main current, that is 8.25 at an angle minus 17.74 into resistance of the opposite branch. Opposite branch is how much? J2, divided by sum of resistances. Sum of resistance is how much? J2 plus, okay, all these three put together, how much we got? Minus J2, 2 and 4 ohm, we got the answer here. That answer is substituted here. So it will become easy for calculation if you go with this formula. So you'll get the branch current. So current Ix considering 50 at an angle 0 is 3.24. So one source we have considered. Now next we have to consider one more source, that is 50 at an angle 90. So what will happen for other source? It is short circuited. The other source is short circuited here. Fine. Again the same thing you can follow. 5 ohm and J2 are in parallel. That is in series with 4 ohm. That is in parallel with minus J2. That is in series with 2 ohm. So again you will get equivalent resistance. Find the main current. Then find the branch current. That steps are shown here. Now you can follow this method, and if you are not convenient with this method, you can go with the mesh analysis which I had told before and compare the answer. The last answer for both. Okay, for superposition theorem, one more thing what you have to do is current Ix considering 50 at an angle 90 we got here. Next, considering both the sources, compulsory you have to write. When considering both the sources, what is the answer? That is been shown here. So last answer is 3.42. It is written in polar form. You can go with the rectangular form also. This is how the superposition example that is been solved. So we have seen what is the maximum power transfer theorem today. Next we'll move on with the examples. In tomorrow's class we'll see the examples. Thank you.